good newsletter suggestion from your side?
There are multiple, I mean, so many marketers having their newsletters, and newsletters are, I mean, they were always popular, but now they are again, in the hype. Some of the newsletters that I personally follow, I think I remember three of them. One is that comes from AppSumo. It's all about different lifetime deals and the products, the latest ones that they have on their AppSumo store. The second is it's, I think it's called Good Marketing Examples or Marketing Examples. It's from a blogger called Harry. The third one is from another good person in growth hacking. It's called I'm forgetting his last name, but his first name is Julian, and the newsletter is from Demand Curve, his company. So yeah, these are the three good newsletters that I personally follow. Apart from this, if you're looking for newsletter style content, I have a subreddit on Reddit called Growth Hacking, which is one of the world's, not one of the largest growth hacking subreddit on the internet. You could join that, and there is similar content there as well.
So if you don't mind, then you can add this newsletter links or newsletter
Sure, I'll
reference
do that.
along with that 100 list, and put it in the comment after this
Sure.
session. Prutha is happy with your answer. She is thanking you. Uh, good explanation. Now, one comment by a live audience, Mr. Ravi Shankar, that yes, agree about Clubhouse. I installed the app, but they started acting funny, so I uninstalled it. So, as you said, it has created a buzz in the market by the growth hacking strategy, but actually the content and the product matters at the end. So next question by our audience is, uh, what is job of growth hacker?
Yeah, so a job of a growth hacker is it's a cross. So I'll try to start by saying not just the growth hackers, but the growth team. So growth teams are essentially cross functional. What I mean by cross functional is that in a growth team you are not the only person to do all the work. You would have the design team, you would have the engineering team, and then you would have the marketing team to collaborate and work together to run and execute these growth experiments in any startup you work with. So essentially, the job of a growth team is to design new experiments, run new experiments, and then work together to finding the results and then moving on to the next experiment. The reason we say that it's a cross-functional team is because everyone has their own skill sets, and there is a concept in my book. I call it growth set. So growth set equals skill set, mindset, and tool set. And this is the advice that I've been giving to all the founders that I worked with. Whenever you're hiring for a growth team, you would want to have people with not overlapping skill sets, but you would want people with the overlapping mindset, and then the expertise would extend to the tool set that they have. Just to put it in a simpler way, what I mean is that you do not want um, only the marketing team to take ownership of the startup growth. You essentially want the marketing team to come up with marketing experiments. You want the product team to come up with product experiments. You want the design team to come up with design experiments. Just to give you an example, like we were discussing about, let's say, Google Pay. Google Pay has this referral mechanism where you have to invite your friends in order to earn some, I guess, 40-60 rupees, which I do not know if that's the correct figures, but there is some monetary reward if you invite a friend and he joins the Google Pay app. So someone from the product team or engineering team must have think of this, and they must have implemented this, right? You can't expect a marketer to come up with a growth experiment related to the product, of course they might end up coming up with ideas for product led growth, but essentially you don't want to devoid the engineering or product team from coming up with growth experiments on the product level. So everyone on the product team is essentially having non-overlapping skills, and they all are responsible for the overall growth, and they have to individually think of the new ideas and experiments to add to their backlog. So yeah, when you are a growth hacker, now coming to what are the actual stuff you will have to do day to day. Most part of it is just how these companies that I've been working with have been operating is that we add additional, let's say, 3 to 5 different experiments every week or every month, and then we run these experiments on a daily day-to-day basis, and we try to play with the data, attribute the success to specific channels and strategies, and then analyze what's working, what's not working. So it's all about ideating what experiments you could work, essentially hypothesizing what could be a possible way to increase the revenue, bring in the followers, or convert the existing users to customers, or retaining the current customers for as long as possible. Uh, so all this is a part of the ideation process, the of growth experiments. The second one is to actually running it, and the third is if you find a growth experiment to be successful, you have to systemize it and or perhaps find a way to automate it so it keeps perpetually running. By systemizing, what I mean is that so sometimes you would be able to automate things so that it could free up your time and you could focus on some other aspects of your business. But for things that are not that you cannot automate, you create a standard operating system around it, which is called SOP. So you create these standard operating systems for these internal growth experiments and processes that you run, and they end up being followed by your executives. So yeah, your major job as a growth hacker is just to come up with novel ideas for growth, executing them, double down on whatever is working, and once you have truly found what's working for the company, you try to systemize or automate it and ship it to your executives to continue working on that. So yeah, this is what it is. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, yeah, very well covered.